Hello everyone, Anita here, and this is day 19 of the 30-day sketchbook challenge. Today we have a big occasion because I've been to a friend yesterday and I picked up a whole bunch new Copic markers. She doesn't use them anymore, at least at the moment. She only used them for coloring books, and she's not into that at the moment, so she was really generous to kind of lend them to me. I mean, there are some of my markers through there, but I really lost track of them anymore. We kind of at some point started buying them together and keeping them in one place. And I don't know, but you know, whenever one of us needs it, she will have it. So this time it's my turn. I normally never really use Copic markers, but because of this challenge, they're really handy. They work perfectly on this paper, and they're really easy to use. So, you know, I asked if I could have them, and she said yes, and I have a whole box full of Copic markers. And so I've decided to use some of the new colors. And she, like among other things, threw in my face that I don't use purple. And that's totally not true, and I've decided to prove her wrong because I love purple. I might not use it too much, but I really like it. So I've pulled out a few purples from the box, and then I was like, I would like to use a different color as well. And at first I was thinking about blue, and I might still use that combination in a different picture. But recently I've once again been in that pink mood, and by that I mean that I really want to have pink hair again. I mean, it will never happen. I've tried it before, and I'm not meant for any kind of fancy hair thingy, hair doing, whatever, because I really do not have time to keep reapplying it every week, and that unfortunately what happened with the pink dye. Was just coming off of my hair immediately. It was just not worth the time. And so I've decided to actually incorporate the pink hair in the picture as well. And I made this really simple thing. We're into simplicity, you know, guys, simplicity. And so I've decided to make just a little, I don't know, hair bun thingy, and then paint a few flowers. And that was my idea. I really wanted to concentrate, because I had so many colors now and so many shades, on applying. I wanted to concentrate on applying different shades and trying to mix them together, trying the shading. I mean, I don't have much experience with Copics. I've never really, before this challenge, I've never used them for anything bigger than nothing really. Nothing. Actually, I've never really painted anything with them. I use them for applying. If you watch my other videos, you probably noticed that I use them quite a lot. I used them quite a lot in the past for enhancing the shadow, so this is where my handy W3 comes in. But besides that, I don't use them that much anymore. And so this thing actually is a good experience for me. It expands my horizons, you can say. And so as you can see, I've applied a the first basic shade of pink, and I really like it. It's like this really nice cotton candy pink. And I absolutely love that color, and I wanted to keep it that pink. That was one of my challenges, because I tend to layer colors in a way that I kind of lose that tone. And in this case, I really wanted to have the pink hair to stay pink, but still be shaded. So, you know, careful color coordination. And then I wanted to add some of the lilacs, and because it's May, in Poland, lilacs are extremely popular in May. In my city, they grew absolutely everywhere. I don't know how it's in other parts of the country, since Poland is quite big. But in this case, you know, I remember very vividly the lilac trees or bushes blooming everywhere in May. And so that's kind of the flower that reminds me of May. That's, you know, and since it's May, you know, it kind of seemed obvious. Like the first purple flower that popped in my head was lilac. And also it doesn't help that recently, when I was visiting family, in their garden, there was like this really big lilac bush, and I was sitting next to it, and I was getting completely high on the delicious smell coming from the flowers. So that was just, you know, something that I really wanted to incorporate. And I had this idea. I didn't want to overcomplicate, and as you know, I really like working from darkest to lightest, kind of like something that you shouldn't really do in Copics because they are transparent, so you will work from the lightest to the darkest. But I've incorporated, I've decided to add a little bit of acrylic on top, just to make things a little bit easier for myself. I mean, that's what it's all about. And as you can see here, I'm adding a different shade of pink. Now this is, I'm not exactly sure how they combine in those color families, but I've pulled out some of those colors that seem to me like a good idea to combine between the purple, so that it wouldn't be too contrasting with the purple, but it would still be pink. So that was, yeah, it took a little, I was afraid because I really liked how the hair looked like, so I was afraid of adding it. I don't know, and I really feel actually in this picture that I've achieved kind of my style of painting. I don't know, it really feels like something I would do in watercolor. I actually added the exact same way I would normally paint in watercolor, so perhaps that's just that I just use the same techniques I normally do with watercolor, where I put a base color first and then I add shadows, and then I darken the lines, add a little bit of details on top. Perhaps that's just it, but I didn't know I could pull it off in Copics, so that's quite interesting, and I will keep that in mind. I would also like to mention here, I really, really love that skin tone. It's just some kind of beige color. I was really surprised because it's really called beige. It's not something I would normally pull for skin tone, but in this case, I really liked it. I mean, you have to have a specific skin color or tone to have pink hair. Now, that's something I do not have. My skin has a pinkish undertone, which is really... It looks really bad with any kind of blonde hair, any kind of pink light colors. I look best in dark colors, unfortunately. And so, in this case, I was really happy that I had that Copic. I didn't really want to add too many details in the background, but as you can see here, I'm adding a little bit of a very light, I think it's just actually called lilac. And I'm adding it because I really felt that the lilac, the blooms, the dark blooms, they were just a little bit too dark, and I felt like they needed something in the background, like to show that there is more of them, but I didn't want to make them that dark. And I'm also adding color as I go. I wasn't exactly sure what I was really going for. That was the biggest problem for me, because this is a different medium, so the rules are different than for watercolors. But as you can see here, I'm adding, if you've watched my hydrangea painting, one of my very first paintings on this channel, I'm doing the exact same technique over here, where I'm putting a very dark base, and then I'm adding little flowers at the bottom of the blooms, and then at the top of the blooms as well. And that's a really easy way for me to add density, to add like the feeling that there's a lot of little flowers without really going into having too much work on it. I guess that's how you could call it. And I really like that acrylic because, again, luckily I had an actual lilac color in the acrylic. I didn't plan on that, so that was a very, very good coincidence. Happy accident, I suppose. And I think this is very first of my paintings. I'm not adding any white details on top, so also new. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's a very simple picture, but I'm extremely happy with how it looks like. The hair really looks full. And so, yeah, thank you so very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye!